But I'm only an orphan, just a girl with no family. Royalty? That can't be my destiny.
If only you knew the blood that runs through your veins, child. Power beyond your understanding. But in time, you will see. All will be revealed when the moment is right.
How can that be? I have nothing, no one. How could I?
You are not what you seem. There is more to you than you've been told.
Amarachi blinked, and suddenly the old woman vanished. She woke up, startled, her heart racing. It was just a dream. Or was it? Once upon a time in the African village of Niobe lived a kind, young maiden named Amarachi. She was very beautiful, and many people were drawn to her. But it wasn't just her physical beauty that enchanted those around her. It was her heart. She was kind, generous, and pure. Amarachi became an orphan at a young age. She lived in a modest hut on the outskirts of the village. Her mother, Adayezi, had passed away 3 years prior, leaving Amarachi with little more than a small plot of land, a few cooking utensils, and a mysterious mark on her palm. Before her death, Adayezi had revealed a startling secret. She was not Amarachi's biological mother. Amarachi had been left in her care by a stranger in the bustling market of a distant town. The only clue to her true lineage was the intricate mark on her palm, a symbol that Adayezi believed held the key to her past. Despite her humble circumstances, Amarachi possessed an extraordinary gift: her cooking. The aroma of her meals passed through the village like an irresistible invitation. Villagers often found themselves drawn to her home, their noses lifted to the air, hoping for just a taste of her delicious dishes. It was said that her food could heal the sick, mend broken hearts, and even soothe restless spirits. Mothers brought their unwell children to her doorstep, and elders sought her out for remedies to their ailments. However, not everyone celebrated Amarachi's talents. Nkoli, the daughter of High Chief Okeki, was the self-proclaimed queen of the maidens. With her striking features and luxurious attire, she was accustomed to being the center of attention. Nkoli enjoyed the rumors that she was to get married to Prince Obinna upon his return from an important expedition. The prince was the kingdom's pride. He was a warrior, scholar, and the only heir to King Afam's throne. Nkoli saw Amarachi as a threat, not because of her beauty, but because of the genuine affection the villagers showed her. Jealousy festered in Nkoli's heart like a poison. She gathered her entourage of maidens, who followed her not out of loyalty, but out of fear of her wrath, and orchestrated schemes to demean and humiliate Amarachi or anyone that goes against her. One morning, as Amarachi made her way to the stream to fetch water, the path was beautiful, lined with wildflowers, and she felt the gentle hum of nature. As she knelt to fill her clay pot, Nkoli and her followers emerged from behind the trees. "Well, look who we have here," Nkoli mocked, the orphan girl pretending to be a queen with her magical cooking. Amarachi looked up, her eyes calm and unwavering. "I do not want any trouble, Nkoli. Let me be." "Let you be?" Nkoli laughed. "You think you're better than us because people flatter you over your food. You're nothing," she said, with so much hatred in her voice. "They don't like your food. They only praise you because they feel sorry for you, orphan child." Before Amarachi could respond, another maiden, Ebele, stepped forward hesitantly. "Nkoli, perhaps we should go. We have other tasks." Nkoli shot her a withering glance. "Silence! Unless you wish to join her?" Ebele shrank back, her eyes cast downward. Nkoli turned back to Amarachi, a sinister smile playing on her lips. "Maybe a little swim will humble you." With a swift motion, Nkoli pushed Amarachi into the stream. The cold water engulfed her, but she remained composed, standing up slowly as water cascaded from her clothes. "If this brings you joy, Nkoli, then I pity you," Amarachi said softly. Furious that her actions had no visible effect, Nkoli stormed away, her entourage following like shadows. Meanwhile, Prince Obinna had returned to the kingdom unknowingly to the Niobe people. He disguised in simple attire, and he sought to understand his people beyond the gilded walls of the palace. Accompanied by his loyal friend and guard, Chinedu, he wandered the village streets, absorbing the sights and sounds, particularly the hum of nature. As they passed through the marketplace, the tantalizing aroma of cooking spices caught their attention. "Do you smell that?" Prince Obinna asked, his eyes lighting up. Chinedu grinned. "Indeed, Your Highness, it smells heavenly." Drawn by the scent, they followed it to a small, modest hut, where a few villagers were gathered, eagerly awaiting a meal. Obinna observed as a young woman, her wet clothes clinging to her form, served food with a warm smile. "Excuse me," Obinna approached her. "May we join you?" Amarachi looked up, meeting his gaze. There was an immediate connection, a spark that neither could explain. "Of course," she replied. "All are welcome here." As they ate, Obinna was struck not just by the incredible flavors, but by the sense of peace that washed over him. "This is extraordinary," he remarked. "I've never tasted anything like it." Amarachi smiled. "I'm glad you enjoy it. Food is meant to nourish both body and soul." They talked for hours, sharing stories and laughter. Obinna was careful not to reveal his true identity, wanting her to know him as a person, not as a prince. Just before nightfall, Obinna reluctantly took his leave. "I hope to see you again," he said earnestly. "You're always welcome here," Amarachi replied. Word of the prince's visit to Amarachi's home spread rapidly through the village. When Nkoli heard, she became very furious. He went to her house, ate her food. She paced, her mind racing. "This cannot be." She summoned her father. "Father, the prince has returned, but he has been consorting with that orphan girl, Amarachi." High Chief Okiki frowned. "Are you certain?" he asked. "Yes, the villagers are talking about it. You must speak to the king. Remind him of our family's loyalty and the promise of marriage." Okiki sighed. "I will do what I can, but remember, the prince makes his own choices." Unsettled, Nkoli decided to take matters into her own hands. She enlisted the help of Emenike, a cunning man known for his unsavory dealings. "I need you to make Amarachi disappear for a while," she told him, slipping a bag of cowries into his hand. Emenike grinned wickedly. "Consider it done." Meanwhile, Amarachi pondered about the mark on her palm. She visited Nwokidi, the village elder and seer, hoping he could shed light on its meaning. Nwokidi examined her palm carefully. "This is no ordinary mark," he mused. "It's the symbol of the Ease clan, a lineage of kings and warriors." "How can that be?" Amarachi asked with a frown on her face. "I am but an orphan." "Destiny has a way of hiding in plain sight," Nwokedi replied. "I believe your true heritage is entwined with the royal family." Confused, yet hopeful, Amarachi thanked him and left, her mind flooded with possibilities. That night, as Amarachi slept, Emenike and his men crept into her home. They bound and gagged her, carrying her into the depths of the forest. When she woke up, she found herself in a dimly lit hut, her hands tied. "Why are you doing this?" she pleaded. Emenike chuckled. "Someone wants you out of the way. Don't worry, we won't harm you as long as you stay quiet." Back in the village, Prince Obinna sought out Amarachi, but found her home empty. Concerned, he asked around, but no one knew where she was. His unease grew, and he confided in Chinedu. Something isn't right. She wouldn't just leave. Chinedu nodded. Perhaps we should investigate further. As days passed, Prince Obinna began to feel unwell. At first, it was just fatigue, but soon he was bedridden. His body was in extreme pain. The royal physicians were baffled. "We've tried every remedy, Your Majesty," one said to King Afam. "Nothing is working." Nkoli seized the opportunity to visit the palace, pretending to be concerned. "I heard of the prince's illness," she said sweetly. "Perhaps I can offer assistance." King Afam, desperate for his son's recovery, welcomed her. "Any help is appreciated." Nkoli brought concoctions and herbal mixtures, but none had any effect. In fact, Prince Obinna's condition worsened. One night, in a fevered state, he called out, "Amarachi, where are you?" King Afam overheard and was completely baffled. "Who is this Amarachi?" Chinedu stepped forward. "She is a maiden from the village, Your Majesty. The prince met her recently." "Find her," the king ordered. "If she can bring him comfort, we must try." In the forest hut, Amarachi remained captive, but undeterred. She spoke kindly to her captors, sharing stories and songs. Gradually, they lowered their guard. One evening, Emaniki returned to find his men laughing with Amarachi. "What's going on here?" he barked. "She's different," one man said. "Not like we thought." Emaniki frowned angrily. "Don't forget why we're here." But the men's loyalty was shifting. Amarachi had touched their hearts, and they began to question their actions. "Why does Nkoli want me gone?" Amarachi asked Emaniki directly. He hesitated before replying. "She sees you as a threat to her future with the prince." Amarachi sighed. "I have no desire to harm anyone. I only wish to live in peace." Emaniki was struck by her sincerity. Perhaps we've made a mistake." Back in Nairobi, Chinedu continued his search for Amarachi. He visited Nwokidi, the village elder and seer, hoping for guidance. "I sense she is near, but hidden," the seer said. "The shadows conceal her, but light will find its way." Perplexed but determined, Chinedu set out with a group of trusted guards. They combed the forests, calling her name. As Emaniki's men slept, Amarachi heard distant voices. Recognizing Chinedu's call, she knew rescue was nearby. She convinced one of the guards to untie her. "If you let me go, I promise you will be spared any punishment." The guard agreed, and Amarachi slipped into the night, guiding Chinedu and his men back to the hut. Emaniki and his remaining men were captured without a fight. "I accept whatever fate awaits me," Emaniki said, without regrets. Amarachi insisted on returning to the village to help Prince Obinna. Upon her arrival at the palace, she was escorted to the prince's chambers. As she entered, Obinna's eyes opened weakly. "Amarachi," he whispered, a faint smile on his lips. "I'm here," she replied, taking his hand. She prepared a special concoction of herbs and spices, feeding it to him slowly. Over the next few days, his strength returned, and color flushed back into his cheeks. King Afam was overjoyed. "You have saved my son," he declared. "Ask for anything, and it shall be yours." "I seek no reward," Amarachi replied humbly. "His recovery is all I wished for." Meanwhile, Nkoli grew anxious. Learning of Amarachi's return and Emaniki's capture, she feared exposure. Desperate, she sought out a dark sorcerer, Amadi, hoping to find a way to salvage her plans. "Help me make the prince love me," she pleaded. Amadi eyed her coldly. Such magic comes at a great cost. I'll pay anything. Very well, he said, handing her a vial of potion. But beware, tampering with destiny invites grave consequences. Nkoli dismissed his warning and slipped the potion into a drink meant for the prince. However, Amarachi accidentally intercepted it, intending to bring it to Obinna herself. As she walked towards the prince's chambers, the seer Nkoli stopped her. Child, there is darkness in that cup. Confused, Amarachi hesitated. Suddenly, the cup slipped from her hands, shattering on the floor. A hissing sound emerged as the liquid burned through the tiles. Poison! Gasped one of the guards. News of the attempted poisoning spread rapidly. Nkoli was arrested and brought before the king. Faced with undeniable evidence and witnesses including Amarachi, who confessed everything, Nkoli broke down. I only wanted to secure my place, she sobbed. I loved him. Love does not harm, King Afam replied sternly. Your actions have brought shame upon your family. Nkoli was sentenced to exile. Her family's status was stripped. With the turmoil settled, Nkoli requested an audience with the king. There is a matter of great importance, he said. In the royal chamber, Nkoli revealed the mark on Amarachi's palm. This is the symbol of the Ease clan, your majesty. King Afam's eyes widened, but the Ease clan perished years ago. Not all, Nkoli replied. Amarachi is the daughter of your late friend, King Ezudo. Before his demise, you both promised that your children would unite your kingdoms. Memories flooded back to King Afam. I thought the child was lost forever. Amarachi stepped forward. I was told my parents left me in the care of another. I never knew them. Fate has brought you back, the king said, embracing her. You are the rightful heir to the Ease kingdom. Prince Obinna and Amarachi spent more time together, their bond deepening. I felt connected to you from the moment we met, Obinna confessed. And I to you, Amarachi replied. With their heritage revealed, the path to their union was clear. Preparations for the grand wedding began, uniting not just two people, but two kingdoms. The festivities lasted for days, with guests from neighboring lands arriving to celebrate. Music filled the air, and the village of Niobe was adorned with vibrant decorations. Ebele, one of Nkoli's former followers, approached Amarachi during the celebration. I owe you an apology, she said. I was wrong to follow Nkoli's malice. Amarachi smiled warmly. All is forgiven. Let us move forward in friendship. Amidst the joy, a mysterious traveler arrived, a woman named Nkemdilim. She claimed to have known Amarachi's mother. I was the one who left you with Adaizi, Nkemdilim revealed. Your parents were under attack, and I was tasked with ensuring your safety. Why didn't you return for me? Amarachi asked, tears welling in her eyes. I was captured and held for years, Nkemdilim explained. By the time I escaped, everything had changed. I searched for you, but could not find you until now. Though saddened by the lost years, Amarachi embraced Nkemdilim. You saved my life. I am forever grateful. As peace settled over the kingdoms, a new threat emerged. Amadi, the dark sorcerer spurned by Nkoli, sought revenge. Blaming Amarachi for his failed plans, he conjured a storm to wreak havoc on the land. Forewarned by Nkoli, the seer, Prince Obinna and Amarachi sought a way to counter the dark magic. We must find the sacred relics of our ancestors, Nkoli advised. Only their combined power can defeat Amadi. Embarking on a perilous journey, they ventured into the forbidden forest, facing trials that tested their courage and unity. From treacherous birds to mythical creatures, they relied on each other and the guidance of ancestral spirits. At the heart of the forest, they found the relics, a golden scepter and a silver shield, symbols of their respective lineages. With these, they confronted Amadi. A fierce battle ensued, with Amadi unleashing all his dark powers. But the combined strength of Prince Obinna and Princess Amarachi, fueled by love and destiny, proved too strong. The sorcerer was defeated, his darkness dispelled. With the threat gone, the lands flourished. Crops grew abundantly, rivers ran clear, and a sense of harmony prevailed. Amarachi and Obinna were crowned as rulers, their leadership marked by compassion and wisdom. They established schools, improved trade, and ensured that no one went hungry, a testament to Amarachi's nurturing spirit. Nkoli, humbled by her exile, sought redemption. She dedicated herself to helping others in distant villages, her heart slowly transformed by the lessons of her past. Emenike and his former captors were granted clemency, provided they served the kingdom honorably. They became protectors of the realm, their loyalty unwavering. Years passed, and stories of Amarachi and Obinna became legends told around firesides. They had children who inherited their virtues and continued their legacy of unity and kindness. Amarachi never forgot her humble beginnings. She established centers where the less fortunate could learn trades and improve their lives. Her cooking became a symbol of healing and community, with festivals celebrating the rich culinary heritage she so loved. The mysterious mark on her palm became a revered symbol, representing the idea that destiny, though sometimes hidden, always finds its way. And so, the tale of Amarachi the orphan, with a golden heart, who became a queen, echoed through generations, a reminder that kindness, courage, and love can overcome even the greatest of obstacles. The end.